finds Game 3 of a 4-game series at Fenway Park between the Cleveland Guardians, Boston Red Sox. I find the game pretty interesting, really. I do, for several reasons. I'll go over it, but because I have a strong, make it a passionate take on this junior circuit contest. One team has an advantage. I think one pitcher has a big advantage over the other. One of the pitchers, the one that's at a disadvantage, he's more in need of a file and a blade, sharpening stone, and break out of that roller coaster baseball jail he's been in for almost a decade and 3 seasons he didn't play. Before I break the game, the sides, the starting pitchers, and how things figure to play out tonight in Boston's historic Fenway Park, the good peeps here at the Wager Talk Media Center have asked me to ask you to do them a solid. Hit that subscribe button. The Guardians hand the ball to Ben Lively. He's a right-hander who's had a few lives in Major League Baseball. He didn't pitch into 2020, 2021, 2022. And in his 5 seasons prior to 2024 campaign, he's pitched with 3 teams, 4th being Cleveland this year. His career mark, 8-17, with a .320 batting average against, .505 ERA, 141 WHIP. He's thrown a total of 209 innings and allowed 120 runs in those 209 frames. He's not listed in the game program as a part of the starting 5. He's on the roster, but not part of the rotation. He'll oppose hometown starter Tanner Hook. First pitch tonight in the early window for what Major League Baseball typically is, but this is the only game that's not a getaway game in the schedule, and we'll have a 4th game or a Thursday game. Teams tomorrow, teams today, the other teams are all exiting where they're at, or the visitor will be exiting, the home team might be staying. So I spoke in a game preview yesterday in this series, Game 2, that arguably a pitching staff that was good as they are this year and as god-awful as they were last year, that's something he has to give. It just doesn't, with essentially the same pitchers, the pitchers they did acquire, Giolito, he never made it out of spring training. He threw his arm out. So, but the metrics will start reversing. Now, coming into this homestand that Boston had, they were the best pitching staff in baseball by leaps and bounds. It hasn't gone that well for them at home. So tonight, it's a back of the rotation, easily the most versatile of Boston pitchers. Tanner Hook puts his stamp on the season, opening 10 games. He did put his stamp on it. I mean, he threw 2 starts, 2 quality works, 12 innings pitched, 7 hits, no earned runs, period. 19 punch-outs against 2 walks. He hasn't been utilized properly, and it's mostly because he's been trapped in a pitching era, or an era with Boston where the pitching's been pretty bad. He's never had a FIP over 450. Hell, he's only had 1 campaign with a FIP north of 3.50. The lanky, how he's been compared to Chris Sale because of their length, their lankiness, their velo, and killer sliders. A slider that's never had a season where a team batted better than 210. Lively last pitched last September, the Reds' 161st game. The Reds lost 15-6. Lively threw 2.2 innings in relief, 2-hit baseball, 1 run, but he threw 37 pitches, faced 11 batters, didn't record a strikeout. This guy's 1 game away from being retired. Is the mismatch here. The Cleveland starters are averaging fewer than 5 runs per start. Credit to the bullpen for keeping them in first place, AL Central. Hoke is a talented kid. He's better again than his 5+ ERA a season ago. He had a 68.5% strand rate, which is positive regression on its way. There's clearly talent here. Clearly, and it starts this year. He's having a great season. It continues tonight. In the Grapefruit League this spring, 16 Ks, 15 innings, and I project him to be about a 4 ERA, 1.26 WHIP, with about 1 K per inning pitched, and that's going to be around 150 if he stays healthy. So I'm excited to see what Cleveland is doing with Lively. I really am. And no matter what, it'll be interesting to see that. But I expect Hoke to rely on that deadly sinker, deadly slider of his, and expect him to have a lineup that he can command tonight. And Cleveland, throwing a pitcher out there that Boston can score on. I'm Tony Finn. Thanks so much for dropping by again. Boston, small home favorite tonight over the Guardians. Thanks for dropping by.